Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Well, you had Meta and Microsoft that were very bullish today, very big earnings, and that really propelled the market. And then you saw Lilly absolutely caboose today. We had some really great short patterns in Lilly. But again, Microsoft, what an opening we had. It was unbelievable on the sell divergences, and I'll show you those patterns off the 30 and 60-minute time frames. Also, we saw some really great, really big sell divergences on Tesla. Tesla hit 290 and change and then dropped about $10. Big sell divergences. We saw great patterns at 12:30. Actually, we saw some great patterns at the 10:10 in the morning. Some nice longs that pushed the market higher. Then we saw some really great patterns develop between the 12:30 and the 1 o'clock time periods off the 15 and 30-minute time frames that propelled the market upward. But once we got that high today of 56.8250 on the S&P futures, I said, that's it. We were extremely overbought. Nothing but sell divergences on the 30 and 60-minute time frame on the S&P futures and the NASDAQ futures, which I'll show you. And then towards the end of the day, that you can see we had a little bit of a push up to the S&Ps to 56.65. Monster sell program at the end of the day. They dropped the S&Ps 65 points. The NASDAQ from over 20,000 down to 19,000, like 780. They dropped 250. The Qs dropped over 4. Unbelievable moves here. Now, we had Amazon after the bell here. Amazon was trading down, now up. Again, we're going to have to wait to see what Apple is going to do here. Okay, MSTR. The guy who paid MSTR 402, well, he jumped. The stock closed down 22. The MSTZs were trading around the 455, closed over 515. What a race to 4% loss. Monster move. Monster move in Palantir. Could not get going today. Above 20. Caught a couple great shorts. Boom, down $4. NVIDIA, big sell divergences. Avago, big sell divergences. Right around the 220 time period. I'll show you these. So many great patterns today. Unbelievable. I really went long some SQQQs here near the lows. We added up. And again, the bottom line is here that the markets are extremely overbought. Just to give an example, we had this gap up today. This would be the third gap up, and I'll show you this. And I'll show this on the 60-minute, but I'll show it to you on the daily. Monster great patterns today. Really, to tell you the truth, there were a lot of good longs at times. But again, I took the shorts this morning on Meta, Microsoft. Microsoft ran a little against, but then it absolutely got cabooshed. Again, at the end of the day, Microsoft had another great short. Apple, at the end of the day, pushed above the 214.30. Nothing but sell divergences. Was going a little bit against, and then it got absolutely cabooshed in the last 15 to actually the last, but the last 10 minutes of the day. Apple trades as high as above 214.30, 35, and then it drops all the way down to below the 212.80. All right, so right now, everybody's waiting for Apple. Okay, should be coming out soon. Gold today, nothing but sell divergences at times. Gold at one point was down over 100 points and then closed down 75. I'm not sold yet on gold bottoming yet. I think gold should bottom out between the 30.50 and the 31.50. Again, like I told you, the S&Ps are not going to break the 4,800 level. I don't think gold's going to break the 3,000 level. But again, the most important thing is here. AMD could not get going all day long. AMD, really nice, great short patterns. Palantir, I stayed away from Amazon. NVIDIA, like I said, some really great shorts. Avago. You know, you had this big run up here. The S&Ps at one point were trading 48.75 on the Sunday session, and I think we got down to like the 49 and change, and then rallied up to 56.82. Come on, you're talking over 780 points in a very, very short period of time. Not to say we're going to go back down to test and lows. I think the three gaps that I'll show you, I believe it's 53.50, 52.50, and 51.40 on the S&Ps. So I don't think that's out of the question for the next 2 to 3 months. I do think those gaps will get filled, and I think then we go right back up again. However, with that being said, let's go and look at some of the charts here. All right, so this is the push up today. You can see the sell divergences pushing up here at 11 o'clock, here 56.75, and then here's the famous 56.82 print. The guy who bought 56.82s, well, he jumped, all right, right there, all right? And then you can see we never look back. Now, when you see a stock like this or an index future like this, and you're making new highs here, all right, and these MACDs can't confirm on the 30 and the 60-minute time frames, well, guess what? It's over. OVA, all right? It's over, all right? And then nothing but shorts. And then this is the long here that we were looking at on the 30-minute time frames on the S&P, but I'll get to that. But this is the short off the highs. Again, the non-confirmations, if you draw your horizontal line here, you can see that the MACDs did not confirm the highs on this push up. Complete different story if I put up the spiders, right? The spiders, the MACDs were making highs and confirming, but I went with the S&P futures on this one to show that the MACDs were non-confirming, and that was it right there. All right. Also, let's look at the 30-minute time frame. This is well, let me bring up the 15, and I'll bring up the 15. This was another great pattern here. This is the first pullback on the 15-minute time frame around the 12:30. It pushed up, it pulled in again, it rallied here off the 15. So this was a good one. The second push down actually set up the long here on the 30-minute time frame. The spiders went from 559.20 and they pushed up here. You can see the push up, almost 34 points on the S&P, or $3.40 on the SPY. Really great pattern on that as well. Let me show you Avago. Beautiful pattern. Everything set up right here on the 15-minute time frame at the 12:15, 12:30. Avago 197.52. Boom, ran over $2.50. Now, when Avago was making new highs here, right here, 201.40, and if you look here, you can see that the MACDs did not confirm the high from earlier on the 15-minute time frame. The MACDs did not confirm the high right here. So when you're making new highs on Avago, we were shorting this above the 201.30, and you can see here Amazon now down, just reversed $3 here. If you look here, you can see that the new high in Avago, the MACDs did not confirm. NVIDIA, here's a different type of a sell divergence here in NVIDIA. When NVIDIA made the push up here, the 15-minute time frame right here did not confirm the high. What got overbought, the 15 did not confirm. And you can see the overbought condition into the negative MACD. Perfect short. MSTR, let me show you this beauty. MSTR reversed the sell on the 15-minute time frame and the 30-minute time frame. Right here, we took a couple longs here against the 15 and the 30 being oversold. Once the 30-minute got oversold, look at the beautiful shorts in MSTR. Here's the first bounce right here. This is the first bounce on the push up at 3 o'clock. Right here, 255. MSTR reverse to sell. I'll show you on the 30-minute one more time here. MSTR reverse to sell right here at 230. So if you look here on the 5-minute time frame, this push up right here, okay, is the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame after the 30-minute correlated with the 15. So I'll say it again. This first bounce, when MSTR rallied above 93, is the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame after the 30-minute time frame correlated with the 15. Now, look at this strategy here, the 5-minute time frame. Now, when you have the sell on MSTR on the 30-minute time frame with the 15, you have what's called a sell disconnect. The 30 and the 15 are the same. The 60 is bullish. The 60 is probably going to reverse the sell tomorrow. But when MSTR reversed the sell on the 30-minute time frame and it correlated with the 15, you short the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame. Look what MSTR did. It dropped over $8, 93 and change. Boom, in 20 minutes, 85 and change, right? You see that? Okay. Now, what's the strategy? When the 5-minute time frame reverses the sell and it correlates with the 15 and the 30-minute time frame, you short the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame towards the end of the day. I know it was late. I'm just teaching the strategy. And look what happened to MSTR. 388 and change. Boom. Down almost $7. These strategies are very, very, very powerful. All right. Very powerful. So also, I want to show you the Russell, the IWMs, to show you today when the Russells were making new highs at one point today. Look at the 30-minute time frame. Okay, right here. I'll bring up the 30. You can see when the Russell was making new highs. And if I draw my horizontal line, but also the 60-minute, the IWMs, you can see that the new high right here, 197.67, the MACD did not confirm the high. You can see the sell divergence. This is an absolute Picasso on IWMs. Really great patterns in Bitcoin today. Bitcoin is up from the 74,000, hit a high of 97,300 or a little higher, 97,004. Bitcoin very overextended, like the rest of the market at this juncture. Again, we're waiting for what are we waiting for? We're waiting for Apple right now. Apple's down about 50 cents right now in the post market. Amazon closed at 189.79. Now Amazon's trading 183, so down about 6 off the last sale from the close. All right. What else here? Tesla. I'm going to show you this Tesla. So this Tesla is an animal. Let me tell you something right now. All right. So Tesla is already negative on the 15, on the 30-minute time, on the 60-minute time frame. Sorry. All right. So let's go over Tesla today. All right. So here's the first pattern in Tesla. All right. Off the 15. We're over the first week of May right here. So here's Tesla. All right. Here it is, 9:45, May 1st. Okay. When Tesla made the new high above 90, I was shorting Tesla. All right. I said Tesla's a short. I would look to short this. Look at the 60-minute negative MACD here. The negative MACD on the 60-minute time frame did not confirm. All right. I tell you, if you can master these divergences, you've mastered the art of trading. It's really clear and simple. It really is. Okay. I'm just telling you. It really is. Okay. And then if you look here, you can see right here, you can see the drop in Tesla. It dropped over $8. Now, when Tesla on the 15-minute time frame got deeply oversold, now we have the 15 reversing to sell, and it's correlating with the 60-minute time frame. What do you look to do in Tesla? You short every bounce on the 5-minute time frame. Here's the short we called here around the 320. Here's the other short, the big one at the 1235 right here. Tesla, you can see, got absolutely kabooshed, about $4. And then at the end of the day, when Tesla was pushing up, it was really hard one to say, but this was the one here at 320. Again, this is the other overbought condition on the 5-minute. You can see here when Tesla reversed to sell on the 15, it was approximately 1 o'clock. So anything from 11 o'clock onward, we had nothing but sells in Tesla. Now, if you look at Tesla on the 15-minute time frame earlier in the morning, this little push down early really was a really good buy, because the 15 also at that point was in line with the 30-minute time frame right here. And you can see how the 30 got deeply oversold. And this is the 15-minute time frame right here. Is this today? Nope, that's not today. It's right here. Sorry, it's right here. Okay. So actually, this was another good short in Tesla on the opening into the negative MACDs on the non-confirmation on the 30 and the 60. But then after Tesla, you can see the 30-minute still bullish. And then when Tesla got deeply oversold here on the 15, you can see the push up. But then once Tesla started making that new high, I immediately turned to the 60-minute time frame and I said, let them have them. Let them have them. Okay, there goes Apple. Looks like it's down over $2 here. Now, I saw a report that Apple iPhone 17, the sales are 10% below expectations. All right, but it's early yet. I'm sure there's going to be a little conference call and see what happens there. Amazon's not bouncing much. It's trading 183.60 in the post market. Apple's now down a little over 3. And we'll see what happens there. What else? Let's see here. Vago, MSTR, gold, really unbelievable short patterns today on gold. Really great patterns. S&Ps, really right now. Again, I'll show you the bigger time frames on the S&P futures from the highs. At one point, when the S&Ps were making new highs, you can see right here, the 62, we closed at 15. So but add 67 to this, we were about 180 points away from the 10-bar weighted moving average. Okay, Apple's getting kabooshed down 4. S&Ps just dropped 17 in the post-market here. And you can see we're way overbought here, not just on the daily, but look at the weekly on the indexes here. On the indexes as well. Okay, we're very, 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 very overbought here. And when you get an overbought condition into a negative MACD, big selling pressure, rising ADX, this is a bear flag here. This is a bear flag. And I want to show you the daily here on the spiders. Okay, the 3 gaps. All right, well, we're going to probably right here. Here's the gap from today. Here's the first gap. You can see the net difference between the close and where we gapped up today. Okay, here's the second gap. Boom, right here. You can see the second gap up. This is going to be very hard not for the market to drop here. And then here's the third gap right here. Here's a gap right here between here and here. Here's the second gap. Boom, boom. And here's the third gap. We're very, very, very overextended. Palantir reports on May 9th. But if you look here, you can see how Palantir, when it was trading above the 120 level, it was over $18 from the 10-bar weighted moving average. So, again, a lot of stocks way overextended, like MSTR. That's why when MSTR was trading above 403, you can see this number here was $62 from the 10-bar weighted moving average. Very overextended here. Also, that's why I think what's going to happen is eventually we're going to get a nice, decent pullback here. And I'll show you another great pattern here. Meta, at the end of the day, you can see Meta on the 5-minute and the 15. You can see Meta reverse to sell on the 15-minute time frame. When these MACDs turn negative like this, look out. And you can see this is exactly what happened. Overbought into these negative MACDs. I knew Meta was going straight down after that. look what Meta did at the end of the day. Hit a high of, I think, 280 or something. Here, 280, and then boom. Now, we did have a big sell program. However, it was really a great strategy. Microsoft, I was shorting above 231 when I saw these negative MACDs, again, getting overbought into these negative MACDs. These are really, really phenomenal patterns. Same thing with NVIDIA, as I showed you earlier. All three, when these MACDs turn negative like this, it's over. It's over. Okay? It's over. And now Palantir, all right, is also has negative MACDs on the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. So tomorrow, I think the market's going back down. Lilly got absolutely decimated here on Lilly. I'll show you a really great bear flag from this morning. Look at this beautiful bear flag. Oh, my God. This is an absolute Picasso. We shorted Lilly above 843. I think the high was 844.37 or it's 97 or 45.48. Look what Lilly did. Look at this bear flag. All right. This is an absolute Picasso. You can't ask for anything better than this. Overbought on the 5-minute time frame, negative MACD, rising ADX, monster selling pressure. Good night, Irene. And just, I swear, look at this. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars, Lilly went from 45 down to under 19. All right, 25 points in Lilly. An absolute Picasso. This is an absolute Picasso. When you see big MACDs negative on the 15 to 30, the 60s, the big selling pressure, the rising ADXs, this is why, and I looked right nice and went right near the 10-bar weighted moving average. I was sure my range was 843 to 47 or 48, 43 to 47, and it was over. OVA, over. Netflix shorted the highs in Netflix. Why? Look at the 30-minute. Let me look at the 30. Netflix made the new high here above 1142. Netflix got kabooshed. Look at the MACD's negative. Here's another push up here at one point during the that was yesterday. This is the opening here, the May 1st, sorry. And here's the push up above 1142, right? I was short a little earlier, a little lower, but I said stay with it, add to it. My guy did, and boom, look what Lilly did. I mean, Netflix. Netflix dropped about 11. And then we got this push up here at the end of the day. My target was 42 to 46, 1142 to 1146. The high was 1141.95 and missed it by a nickel. And that's what happened there. All right. Again, I'm still looking for the market to really, really have some type of a downdraft here. I don't, right now we're extremely overbought on the bigger time frame. So I'm just looking to see this negative pattern on the weekly start rolling over. If that weekly starts rolling over, it's over. I'm telling you. The market did a really great job of not taking out that monthly reversal price on my algorithm indicator 4, which was 535. We were below that. Of course, the market knows my number, and right now we're at 557. Down a little bit more after hours with Apple here, down 360. But again, the point is very simple. You know, if you could just every single day learn from me, learn my methodologies. When MSTR reverses sell on the 30, it correlates with the 15. You have a sell disconnect. You short the first bounce on the 5. The 5 goes negative. You short the second bounce on the 5. These patterns repeat themselves each and every day. So for me, this is a great opportunity to teach each and every one of you, and I have so many people from all around the country and the world that have joined my live stream each and every day at sktrading.live. All right, when I came back, I will tell you what I expect for tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we have the 8:30 employment number, and that's going to be a doozy, so we'll see what happens there. But here are the big numbers to watch out for tomorrow. On the QQQs, we closed right now 481.22. Right now they're trading 479.39 in the post market. Guess where the 30-minute time frames reverse to sell? 478.83. 478.83. Okay, so we're very close right now, about I would say 40 cents away if we open tomorrow, where the Qs, the QQQs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF is going to get a reversal on the 30-minute time frame. Okay, we'll watch that for tomorrow. Okay, also the spiders on the 30-minute, the big number there on the 30-minute on the spiders, 556.11. We're about $2 higher right now on that. So I'm expecting that means the S&P futures would have to close below 55.90 on the 30-minute time frame to get a sell reversal on the SPY. Looks like Nvidia right now is very close to reversing the sell in the 30-minute time frame. Palantir's inches away on the 30-minute time frame. Lilly, forget it, it's over on Lilly. MSTR, Coinbase, very close to reversing the sell on the 15 and the 30-minute time frame. So we're going to see some moves here tomorrow. Fridays have not been slow. A lot of volatility on Friday. Again, when you have the employment number, that's going to be a big number. But we'll see what happens here, all right? Right now, again, Avago strong, Nvidia, Meta, going to be kind of strong still on the 30-minute. We'll have to watch Meta. Meta had a really great long pattern off the 30, but these MACDs negative. We'll see what happens with Meta tomorrow. Maybe there's a nice oversold condition on the 60-minute time frame. But these names, I will tell you, Microsoft and Meta, okay, normally now the earnings are out of the picture. They're out of the way, okay? And what are you going to look to do? We're going to look to buy pullbacks on those names when the dailies get to an oversold condition. All right. Earnings are out of the way. People like the earnings. You wait for an oversold condition on the dailies for another push upward. So that's going to be anywhere from the 2 to 8 to 10 days out. All right. When I get back, I would like to share just a thought I have that's been really troubling me the last couple of days. And I just want to clarify some things and just tell you how I feel about when you're trading the markets, what's really, really important. All right, I'll be right back. So as I said, I've been doing this for 41 years, and I don't really execute orders or anything like that. And this morning I was talking to a person, and it's really important to get an understanding of your software, of the type of platform that you're using. If you're using TradeStation or E-Trade or Schwab or any of them, I like TradeStation, but with that being said, it doesn't, whatever you like. And it's important that you get acclimated to the software. And why I say that is because it's important to get the hand-eye coordination when you're executing orders, when you're putting your orders in. You got to feel comfortable. A gentleman I know took the approach and said, for a couple of days, I'm just going to get acclimated to the matrix where you can put the orders in, and you can go to Google, you could type in TradeStation Matrix, or you can type in Trading Technologies Ladder, LADDER, or I think it's under that. But then, you got to get used to it. You got to get familiar with it. And what you really want to do is to be able to fully understand how to use the functionality of that platform. So this gentleman decided that he was going to take a couple of days and just get familiar with the software, click, get used to it, get all the functionalities, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then he said, I'm going to take what I know so far of the functions. I'm going to listen to Steve during the live stream and then get in and out of trades of it within the time that he's calling. And I'm just going to really play with it and get familiar with the scaling in, the scaling out process, putting my stop orders in, etc. Did that for a few days. And then he decided to go live using micros on the index futures. And this gentleman had a really phenomenal week. I mean, very, very good week. Okay. I'm very proud of him, but he did the work and he took the time. so many people I talk to, you got to learn this, because I can't do it for you. Whether you do it at night during the Tokyo session or you during the day, you take some time and you just start practicing. And then when you go from there, I loved his approach, by the way, and just learning first and then taking the software, listening to me, and then putting the orders in appropriately. So and then again, lowering his stops or raising his stops and putting stop orders in, or up and or down. But he really showed me that this was the right approach. And I loved his mental approach to it. So with that being said, it is imperative. It's so warranted that you need to learn how to execute orders appropriately and learn the system that you have in front of you. All right. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me tonight on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please leave a comment. Also, my website is sktrading.live. I would love for you to join my community of traders from all around the world. Please follow me on social at official Stephen Kalayjian on X, Insta, and TikTok. Have a wonderful. Also, if you want to reach me, you can text me at 914-500-7484. Have a great night, everybody. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Be well, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.